Huh? You think you can do this shit? Jay! You think you can do this to me?
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Some actors spend their entire careers in pursuit of that coveted golden statue, disappearing into roles that come to define a generation. But what if the most brilliant actors of our time are not found on the Hollywood stage, but are, in fact, the stars of our favorite anime? I speak of those characters who portrayed a role so convincingly, they deceived everyone. Tonight, we honor the ultimate masters of deception, the anime characters who truly deserve an award for their legendary performances. To be clear, our consideration is not for those who simply tell a few white lies. We are here to celebrate the characters who constructed and inhabited entire false personas. They wear their figurative masks for months, even years on end. The criteria for this evening's honors are simple. How flawlessly did they embody the role? What hung in the balance? And how profound was the revelation when the mask was finally removed? These are the puppet masters, the virtuosos of manipulation. They are not merely characters in a story, they are actors within their story. And their stage is the world itself. So let us dim the lights, raise the curtains, and prepare to bestow some long overdue accolades. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Best Actor in Anime Award Lounge. Our first nominee presents a performance that is a chilling masterclass in subtlety and control. Kiyotaka Ayano Koji for his role in Classroom of the Elite.
ただ俺の詮索はするな。
To his classmates and faculty of the prestigious Tokyo Metropolitan Advanced Nurturing High School, he plays the part of a perfectly average student. He is quiet, unmotivated, and pathologically unremarkable, deliberately scoring exactly 50% on every exam to cement his place as a forgettable background character. He performs the role of a socially awkward loner who would rather keep his distance, a boy you would never look at twice. But this bland persona is one of the most effective masks we've ever seen. In reality, Ayano Koji is a terrifyingly brilliant mastermind, a perfect human specimen, forged in a secretive and brutal White Room program. He is a genius of manipulation, possessing intellect and physical prowess that are second to none. The average student role is not just a disguise, it's an invisibility cloak. It allows him to pull the strings from the shadows, orchestrating every major victory for the underdog Class D, without anyone ever realizing that he is the puppet master. He sees people as tools and will sacrifice anyone to win, all while maintaining his harmless facade. I'll never forget that feeling at the end of the very first season, realizing that we may have been unknowingly rooting for the villain all along. It's the sheer discipline of his anti-performance that makes it award-worthy. While others on this list create loud, dramatic personas, Ayano Koji's greatest act is convincing the world he isn't acting at all. The stakes are his freedom from the clutches of his father and the very future of his classmates in a cutthroat academic system. He deceives everyone, friends, enemies, and teachers alike, by weaponizing mediocrity itself. His performance is a testament to the idea that the most dangerous person in the room is the one nobody is watching. Yes, thank you. Our next nominee delivered one of the longest and most successful comedic performances in anime, all to conceal a world-ending tragedy. For his role in Naruto, it is Obito Uchiha.
信じられないなんてね。
思った通りだ。
For hundreds of episodes, we knew him only as Toby, the masked, goofy, and seemingly invulnerable member of the Akatsuki. His function was to provide comedic relief. He was Deidara's irritating sidekick, a bumbling fool with a high-pitched voice who tested everyone's patience. By all appearances, he was a joke, and it was, without question, one of the greatest long cons ever portrayed. The Toby persona was a perfectly crafted mask, designed to deflect all suspicion. Who could ever believe this clown was the true mastermind behind the Akatsuki, the man manipulating pain, and the architect of the fourth great ninja war? He played the fool so convincingly that even his claim to be the legendary Madara Uchiha was met with skepticism. The deception was total. He fooled the Akatsuki, the Five Kage, and the whole of the Shinobi Alliance. But most importantly, he fooled us. For a time. For years, audiences theorized about Toby's identity, but the cheerful mask he wore made the final reveal a shocking gut punch. The stakes were nothing less than trapping all of humanity within an internal dream. Behind the silly mask and goofy voice was a man utterly broken by despair, a former hero who had given up on a world that took the person he loved. The Toby persona was his ultimate weapon, allowing him to operate in plain sight, gathering the tailed beast and advancing his plan without anyone ever suspecting the fool was, in fact, the king. Obito's performance is legendary for its sheer duration and duality. The switch from the high-pitched, silly Toby to the deep, cold voice of Obito remains as one of the most iconic moments in Naruto. To this day, I still scream, "Ole!" It is the instant the curtain drops and we all realize the comedian was, in truth, the villain of the entire saga. Of course, in our third nomination, we recognize an actor whose performance was so prolonged and subtle that it completely reframes his entire artistic journey. For his role in Attack on Titan, we nominate Eren Yeager.
人で殺し合いをさせてみんなを俺の大切な仲間を
He began his story in a seemingly straightforward, if intensely passionate, heroic role. His part was clear. The young man screaming for freedom, dedicating his life to eradicating the Titans who murdered his mother and imprisoned humanity. For the majority of the saga, we believed in this portrayal. We saw his rage, his determination, and his unwavering drive. But in many ways, it was an act. Not because the early emotions were false, but because he was concealing a far more complex and horrifying truth. The true performance began after he witnessed the future through his father's memories. From that moment forward, Eren was no longer reacting to events. He was performing a script he knew would conclude with global genocide. He became a double agent in his own life, playing the part of the loyal soldier and devoted brother, all while knowing he was marching toward a future where he would become the world's greatest villain. He deceived everyone, the Survey Corps, his dearest friends Mikasa and Armin, and the entire world. The stakes were, quite literally, the fate of all humanity. He had to maintain his alliances to reach his goal, yet alienate his friends enough so they would be the ones to stop him and emerge as heroes. That cold, detached persona in the final season was not just a character shift, it was a costume. He had to embody a villain so convincing that his own friends would see no other choice but to kill him. The man was so dedicated to his role that he sacrificed his limbs and an eye. Eren's award-worthy moment is the brutal, devastating finale of this performance. The revelation that every cold action and betrayal was part of a twisted plan to grant his friends long lives at a catastrophic cost is heartbreaking. He had to act the part of a monster, carrying the weight of his future crimes alone and pushing away everyone he loved. It is a tragic, self-destructive performance that makes him one of the most effective actors in the history of the medium. Of course, a list of nominees this brief cannot possibly encompass every master performer. We must therefore give honorable mentions to several other notable performers. Hercule, the world champion from the iconic Dragon Ball Z, the destroyer of Cell and the strongest warrior. Aizen from Bleach, who played the role of a kind, gentle captain for over a century while plotting his ascension to godhood. Junko Enoshima, the ultimate mastermind from the sadistic Danganronpa, who orchestrated the entire killing game while hiding in plain sight. All the supporting cast in Attack on Titan. I know there's so many more I wish to name, but we must carry on. It would be impossible to hold this ceremony without acknowledging our runner-up. He is the very embodiment of the double life. A character whose entire story is a war between the perfect role he plays and the monster he truly is. For his leading role in Death Note, we nominate Light Yagami. On the surface, Light is the model student and the perfect son. Brilliant, popular, and possessing a strong sense of justice inherited from his detective father. This is the role he performs for his family, his classmates, and the police task force he brazenly joins. But we, the audience, know the truth. This perfect image is a meticulously constructed act, a performance designed to hide his true identity, Kira, the ruthless egomaniac who was appointed himself the god of a new world. Light's performance is constant and all-consuming. Every word, every glance, every gesture is a calculation. He must portray the concerned son, the charming boyfriend, and a helpful colleague to the very people dedicated to his capture. He lives under the constant surveillance of the world's greatest detective, L, and he never breaks character. The stakes are his own life and his twisted vision for humanity. A single crack in his performance would lead to his execution. His deception is aimed at everyone, but his most critical audience member is L. Their conflict is a deadly chess matchup in which Light must act the part of an innocent man while actively trying to murder the person sitting across from him. He is so convincing that even when L is 99% certain that Light is Kira, he cannot find the proof needed to shatter the act. What makes Light's performance so extraordinary is the sheer mental fortitude required. We witness it in his famous internal monologues, where a calm exterior conceals a tempest of manic genius and pure rage. The legendary potato chip scene says it all, transforming a mundane act into a moment of epic defiance. He performs normalcy while committing supernatural murder, a psychological balancing act that is nothing short of chilling. Light Yagami isn't just a man with a secret, he is the secret, wrapped in layers of brilliant and terrifyingly perfect acting. Yes, yes, yes. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the award for Best Actor in Anime. While others on this list played a role, this nominee directed the entire world as his stage, casting himself as both savior and sinner, all for a single grand theatrical finale. And the award for Best Actor in Anime goes to Lelouch Britannia for his breathtaking performance in Code Geass.
やめろ。私は救世主じゃ。メシアなんかじゃないんだ。
Lelouch's entire life is a series of performances. His first role is that of Lelouch Lamperouge, an exiled prince masquerading as an ordinary high school student. He acts aloof, brilliant, but profoundly bored, a young man simply too intelligent for his mundane surroundings. This mask of normalcy conceals his burning hatred for the Britannian Empire and his deep, abiding love for his sister Nunnally. From there, he creates his most iconic role, Zero. As Zero, he becomes a symbol, a masked revolutionary who is charismatic, strategic, and perpetually one step ahead. This persona is the performance for the public and for his own soldiers, the Black Knights. He must be the unwavering leader they need, a champion of justice, even as his own motives are entangled with personal revenge. He masterfully switches between these roles: carefree student, loving brother, and revolutionary icon, sometimes all within the same day. But it is his final performance that stands as his masterpiece. In his ultimate act, he assumes a third role, the Demon Emperor. He wills himself into the single target of the world's hatred, a tyrant so monstrous that his public execution by a resurrected Zero would unite all nations in peace. This is the Zero Requiem, a plan which he cast himself as the greatest villain in human history and plays the part with horrifying conviction. The deception is global. He betrays his friends, his followers, and the world, making them all believe he has become a true monster. The stakes are the future of humanity itself. Lelouch earns this highest honor because his story is fundamentally about the power of performance. He understood that to change the world, one must give people a story to believe in. He created Zero to be a hero, then created the Demon Emperor to be a villain, all so the world could finally know peace. It was the ultimate self-sacrifice, an act in which he destroyed his own name and legacy for the greater good. His entire life became a script that he wrote, directed, and starred in. He deceived everyone, not for his own ego, but as the final tragic move to win the game and create a better world. It is unequivocally the single greatest performance in anime history. From Iono Koji's twisted mind games to the world-altering tragedy of Lelouch's Zero Requiem, these characters prove that acting in the world of anime is an incredibly powerful force. And I know y'all saw Toby on the list and was thinking, wait a minute, wasn't there another Uchiha whose performance fooled not only the entire ninja world, but also the viewers? That man they call Itachi! Put him to sleep! Uchiha! Well, the answer to that question is within the videos you'll see pop up at the end of this one. And I'll even have a card pop up that you can click that'll take you right to one of them. Easy peasy, barely even gotta lift a finger to do it. But that's enough of my yapping, now it's your turn. Which of these staggering performances fooled you the most? Who had you completely convinced into the final dramatic reveal? Share your thoughts and your own selections for anime's best actors in the comments below. Hit that like button and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Join the lounge and grab yourself a seat. Share with your friends or anyone who loves anime like us.
Tell your friends about me.
I appreciate you all for watching, and as we always do when we close out, let's all raise a glass in the air. Here's to anime.